Alright, we're getting there. Hold on. All these things are need to be kind of redone. They're not reading right. We'll get there. Hope you all are doing well. Of course, the iPad's gonna act weird. So we'll unplug that and replug that in and see what that does. Okay. Ah ha ha ha. What is this? Oh, that's the music. Move that. I don't know how some of the stuff got moved around, but I never moved it. That like Christmas break, the stuff wanted to move too, do its own thing. Well, hello. Let's just go through some of the pages and I'll show you what I've been working on. I tried not to work too much over break. I wanted to rest and then come back to it kind of fresh, but I did work some. So we'll go from page 1 on. You can see what I've done. Oh, I see I need to be able to have you see my art cam so you can see what I'm doing with my hand. There we go. Alright, so final cover, seen that before. Page 1. It's like turned really weird. And they seem to be coming out kind of how I wanted them to. Page 2, like you can see, it looks watercolory in the background and digital on him. So yeah, I'm liking it. Page 3. You wouldn't believe how long it took me to figure out like how to make that look like glass and how to make it seem like the jelly beans are actually three-dimensional. Finally figured that out, and that turned out really well. So you can see that's pretty fun. Let's see, let's go back. There's page 4. And I even added some background city stuff in here. I could have gone really detailed, but I was like, man, if I want it to look like watercolor, I'm gonna have to use some smudgy digital brushes. Because if I make it look too good, now man is not gonna, he's gonna blend in too much. So that's that. Let's see. Oh, this is mislabeled. So we'll hold this down. I think this is how you do it. Nope, won't let me do that, so I'll figure it out later. There's one thing I wanted to touch up here. Look at all these layers. It's insanity. I got a little carried away. I should have merged some of these things. But whatever. Too late now. I felt like I got a little carried away with this. So if I take this brush right here and then hold this, now I am erasing with this brush. So it kind of gives me the same texture back. So I don't get quite as carried away. But it still looks similar. And I'll have to go back and add some back in, but it got too thick and grimy for what I was looking to do. Yeah, see, look how smudgy that is. Just don't need all that. Want it to be fluid and messy, but not like I spilled something on it on accident. There's a lot of these types of things I'm having to go and do to make sure everything just looks slightly polished. Because I don't want it to feel rushed or look rushed. I want it to look purposeful and kind of clean. But stuff like that, no. Hopefully you all had a good Christmas, good New Year's. Hopefully you are excited for this coming year and have made maybe some goals or things you want to try. I have, and I'm excited for what's ahead, and both for my comic and for myself. This year I'm mostly just trying to be healthier. I take good care of myself, but I can do better, especially with my diet. So I'm doing that this year. Alright, so now I can go in. Yeah, see? It's too, can get thick and out of control really quickly. Just bring that down a little bit. And this city actually originally was not in my pencils. I was planning to do a lot of the backdrop type stuff like outside of my pencils. It just made sense to me to do it that way because it's a lot of detail work, and I was able to put down, and you'll see later, I use a drawing grid, and it's assisted drawing, and that puts lines on the screen. Actually, it's on right now, I think. Let me look. That's what the drawing grid looks like. So if I turn it off, on, and I can make it assisted so that anytime I do a line, it stays in a horizontal or vertical and does not vary. Even if I do, it will stay with where I am. So all of these, even though they look messy, they're straight how I have them. And that helps keep the look of a city as opposed to some hand-drawn messy thing. And I did that more so for the window lines and stuff, but I think that's the only fix I really had for this page. I thought this turned out really well, this fire page. I really like how the court kind of looks, and it was fun to do that, but we're on to a new page. So that was, I'm gonna see if I can relabel this because it is wrong. Alright, select, duplicate. I always duplicate them and then stack them. And then I think I should be able to label it from there. Come on, let me label it. Okay, let's try doing it this way. Ah! It just let me do it. Do I have to double click? Nope. There we go. Hey, we did it. So this is actually page final 6, I think. Let's see. 4. There's 5. Oh, no, this is 5. Done. Alright, on to what just mislabeled as 6, so it's actually 7. Alright, we're gonna get out our inking brush, my favorite one, Tech Pen, and I've actually gone in, and I'll show you what this looks like. You can modify, so I've modified, you see how it's slightly kind of draggy and delayed? It's an assisted drawing, and that helps me keep my lines pretty straight. The first thing I'm gonna do is create a layer. I'm gonna call this layer lines 1. Done. And on lines 1, we're gonna create our boxes. It's okay if the other thing, oh, this is where we need our drawing assists. So we're gonna go in, drawing guide, edit drawing guide, and then I click this assisted drawing. I'm gonna use kind of pink lines because I think that's, I don't know, easier. And then I'm gonna change the grid size to kind of line up a little, yeah, right there. Now watch, if I draw a line, no matter how much I'm moving off the line, it only lets me go on that line. So that is super handy. I've been learning tools. I bought a course about Procreate, and have been learning tools, learning the program so I understand it better. I'm trying to get the overall darkness of this original layer a little bit darker because I can't see these. I guess I'm gonna have to just guess. I can't see the original panel lines. I think there's one here. That can't be right. It's gotta be here. Let's leave that one out of there. Let's put it here. And it's okay if it's not a perfect square right now. My main goal, I can always erase the edges of these lines. My main goal is to create, see, that line's not even with this one. There we go. Yeah, and then this can be out in the open. That works. I like that. It's kind of separated. Now, I don't like the distance of this, so I'm going to go in, erase. As if you'll notice, the distance from the edge, it's too far, or it's too far away from the edge. So we're going to bring it further over. I don't like how that's not exactly, that's hard to do. There we go. A lot of this stuff is like the finesse touches of things, because we've worked so hard to get it where it needs to be. I really like how these darks turned out. I'm gonna do my best to not mess with these too much with my graphic, because I like the watercolor look of these darks. I might darken the edge a bit, but I'm gonna see if I can work with it and make it feel good. I'm also gonna erase this side, line it up a bit more. Nope. Zoom in. Okay. This is the other one that's bothering me. So, as you can see, these are not even. So we're gonna go in here. We're gonna extend this out. What? No. If you've seen any of the time-lapse things, I put one out today. In Procreat, one of the cool things it does. Hola! Thanks for joining the stream. One of the things that Procreat does I think is super cool is it just always is doing time-lapse, and you can just click on that feature and download it and put it up on Instagram or whatever. I think that's super, super handy. I used to do some time-lapse stuff and I'd be like, man, I can't, I'm gonna take the assist off here for a second. I can't always, set up a camera and have it filming over my shoulder to get a time-lapse, nor do I want to have to think about that every time. So it's really cool that Procreate will put that feature into the program itself, and then you just say, yeah, I'd like to do that this time. Sorry if I bumped the camera with my head. It's very much in my head space, but I want you guys to be able to see my hands and what I'm doing. Alright, so like the other pages, one of the things I'm trying to do is keep these watercolors of darks there and not digitally overtake them, but also add digital watercolor to it, because remember, Man and Bot are graphically or digitally supposed to pop off the page because we're visually trying to show the storytelling, so we have to be careful with that. But right now we're gonna go in with the tech pin. I like the way it's working so far. I'm gonna take a very fine, make sure I'm on the correct layer. I'm gonna go ahead and add another one and rename it lines P1, which stands for panel 1. And now we can get started on this. I thought I'm going to be very precise and hold those lines so that it automatically creates a straight line. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and create a perfect circle here. So we hold it, hold our finger. There we go. Now if we take off this, whoops, not that, this, see we get those more solid lines. And another thing we can do here, now that we've got that, is erase the bot underneath so we have a better understanding of our lines. Okay, we'll just go ahead and fill in. And this is super zoomed in, so if we come out, this is plenty detailed enough. I could go in there and add a bunch of detail. That's not the look we're going for with this graphic novel, so it's a temptation to do as an artist, but I don't want to do that. So I already realized a mistake I made. There we go. Let me redo that one more time. I finished this line, but I was on the incorrect layer, so I need to go in and do it on the correct layer. That can be a mistake that you just end up, like with my other drawing, I have like 30, 40 layers in there, and they get all confusing, and then by the time I'm trying to go back and maybe add some color underneath some lines, I don't even know what layer it's on. So that's something I'm learning. I'm pretty fresh, new to this, and I'm just used to traditional art, so I'm really glad I took that course on Procreat and took the time to understand this medium, because I will tell you there's a lot to learn, and I think it's super fun. I like challenging myself and learning new things. But here we have the hole that our man character made with the hatchet in the floor of the New York Kicks Madison Square Garden Arena because he wanted to make a fire, and no one's around, so why not? And a temptation here would be sometimes to put some Z's to show they're sleeping, but previous page we had a little bit of that. Not man sleeping, but him. So your mind will assume and connect the dots from time to time. So you have to be careful when you put words on a page. The less words, the better, to an extent. You don't want to tell your story and just have copious amounts of dialogue and caption, and show don't tell is the common thing that people say, and couldn't agree more. You will bore people if you tell. I actually made that mistake in my first comic and came out with a second edition that fixed that, because I thought, we can do this better. We can introduce this story, and it's very difficult when you get into like sci-fi, which that one is, because you're really trying to get people into the world quickly, and it's an easy temptation to get into. All right, so let's start in on, whoops, there we go. Now this looks really funky, and like, man, proportions are slightly odd, and the shaky lines and all this and that. It's really far away. Like, you don't need, there's a pressure there to have everything look just right and be perfect, but you have to divide your time into what's useful, and sometimes it's more useful to just have as little detail as possible to get your point across and move on, or you will spend hundreds of hours trying to finish your comic and maybe never finish because you're too frustrated. So this hand right here, circle, done. You get the point, it's a hand. So those calls are hard to make, but you can do it. I just realized I put my sweaty, greasy hand all over this. I'm going to grab my glove, my art glove. There, and now we can rest. No movement, no grease, no sweat, no problem. We're back in the game. I'm gonna turn down this layer so I can actually see the lines I'm making, because this is pretty dark. And you can tell I'm not following this exact. That's because man's hair is a mess, and there's no need to follow a guide. Just go crazy. He's not combing it. Why should I? Good enough. Alright, so now we can put that back to full. What I want to do here, find that color and do my best to replicate. See, and see this problem of the overlay of the, that's because my layers are in the wrong order. So boom, now watch. Nothing. Yeah. So we're gonna create this, and then what I'm gonna do is bring this color down a bit darker. Can you get the edges real dark? Whoops. Bring this up a bit. The goal here is trying to blend it into what we already have. And then I'm gonna find some type of texture to really just make some mess on here, some messy texture. You'll see what I mean. And that will help with our blending a bit. And then what I'm gonna do, find a nice orange. What's going on here? It does this sometimes. See how it's not writing? It's not doing anything? I find that if I shut it down, bring it back up, and then open that same one, a lot of times it's back, but for some reason it's not. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, see? Sometimes I just don't know what I'm doing. That's okay, we're learning. We are learning. So now we're going to look for our, I think it's elements? Excuse me, I've had kind of a cough today. And then we're gonna airbrush in some, nope, not like that. Big ones, too big. I see what I did wrong. We're gonna back off this a second, add another layer, rename to, I'm not sure why I wanted to do this instead of one. There we go. Rename color 1. So now what that's going to do, we can bring that under our lines, and now it's not going to blur out everything else like it was doing. No. Ha. Okay. There's lots of methods and ways I could do this. I'm choosing this. I like the look of it. I think it stays pretty consistent with my watercolors. And I can easily go in and go ahead and make this our current brush. Let's look at our brushes. Inking. Let's do our tech tip and then hold it on eraser, and now that's going to erase with our tech tip. And I know there's faster ways to do this. I enjoy this way, so whatever. You can like select the whole section here and just delete. Should be faster, but I think coming from traditional, there's some things that I just enjoy doing it this way. Goodness, headphones, calm down. So now what we're gonna do is go in real close. Get rid of this light, and we'll add some back in, some edges, because of course this light's gonna bleed onto our characters. It's fire. It's a source of light. Light always bleeds onto whatever subject it's close to, but I don't want it to be this dark. It has to interact with the colors we have of our original characters, which, remember, we made a palette of man and bot that we can always come back to. So if you're new here, or if you've been here for a while, you'll see in the stream you can follow me in lots of different ways. This is our So I have a company called Matchstick Comics, and we have 2 chapters of Burdens of Draco, which is a 15-chapter series. By the way, that is coming along for chapter 3. We had some issues that we've taken care of and things that we're working through, but that one's coming along. So chapter 1 and 2 are already out. You can purchase those, and at the end of this I will show you, well, if you go to our website, you can actually go and purchase hard copies, which has not been the case for a while. We were out of stock because you guys bought them all, so thank you so much for that. But now you can order them there. So chapter 1, chapter 2, The Deadly Kids, and Cloud Red are all available for print purchase. Thank you, Ben. Yes, I'm excited too. I worked really hard. I've done like so many proofs of that print to make sure it was right. I don't want to say how much I ended up spending to make sure all those proofs were correct, because I want you guys to have a really good product. I don't want to put out something where the colors are off, the page weight and quality is not right, and it's actually a bigger size. Actually, real quick, let me grab one. This, of course, doesn't reach. And in disappointment, I have to say I don't have them with me right now. I gave them to someone to show their kids, so sorry. It happens. They are available for print though, and I'll show those to you at some point when I get that back. She's just borrowing it to show her kids. So now what we're gonna do with this, I actually would like to add a little bit more airbrushing. I feel like it's missing a bit. Make sure we're on the correct layer. Just down in here, it looked bare. Looks pretty good. And then I'm actually going to add that texture again. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was in textures. It wasn't paper texture. It is abstract. There it is. A bit more to the outside here. Okay, I like that look. So now we'll go back in, we'll erase this, and then we'll start in on our next element here. So erase, make sure we're on the correct layer, get the size up. Is that really the biggest size we can get? What are we working with? This one? Let's do this one. How big is that? That's bigger. Oh. No. So now we're gonna go in. This song's kind of funky. By funky, I mean So we're gonna go in with our Man Bot palette and start creating that illusion of what's the word? I guess lighting. No, not there. This is so fun. It's almost like, now that I've done the pencil work, it's color by number and ink by, I don't have to think about posing and anatomy, other than there are some pose corrections that I have used. There's this program called Magic Poser. I'll show that to you real quick. It's really neat. So, no. So this right here, Magic Poser, you can actually go in here. This is a free program. You can use it with your iPad, desktop, whatever. And you can go in here, change the angle of this guy, however you want to draw it. The lighting, where it's facing. So if I click on this and then change rotate, say I move that lighting, make it more dynamic, I can take his body and I can do whatever I want with it. Fantastic. I don't know who came up with this, but thank you. What an awesome tool. So Magic Poser is that app. I don't use it for everything, just the ones that look wonky. Like, oh, this drawing looks really wonky. How can I fix this? That's the one I'm. What layer am I? Color. So why is it going over the lines? Nope. Back. Huh. It shouldn't be. Let's test it. Nope, it's not. I'd like to get a bit closer. If you ever see me turn the canvas for specific lines, your wrist will only do so much correctly. And if you want straight lines or smooth lines, sometimes it's because you're trying to turn your hand a way it doesn't like to go. And this type of motion is much easier than, you know. So I do that from time to time. It's not really needed here, it's just more I want to. So we're starting with flats first, flat color, and then we'll come in and add dark to add that distance from the fire and the shading and lighting that would give. Okay, now we take the dark of that color. We think about where the fire is, so we're going to add shading to the back sides of these things. And it's going to be hard shading because this is such direct light that you don't need to do gradients of shading. And the same for pants. That doesn't make sense. Boots. And our skin is almost nothing. And then we're going to take our black, get our pan Danny, however you would say that, and we're going to create some really harsh shadow, but smaller. Alright, now we're gonna go to deepest black here, and underneath this color, I'm gonna add some darks. Why is that not darker? Is it the shading? Let's try a tech pen, see what that does. Nope, still not. It's almost like this airbrushing is affecting it. So bring that back. And I'm doing this because I thought maybe underneath this flooring might be like some type of black tarp or something. Plus it gives a lot of contrast to make your eyes focus in on the fire. Something is over this layer that is causing major bleed out. Let's see. As if I, yep, that's the one. That's okay. The fire, this is, whoops. The fire is over top of this black, so that's why it's doing that. So that's okay. As soon as we get to the edge of the fire, black. Yeah, that's fine. It gives the illusion of that glow. Okay, so now, oh, almost done. Gonna use that brown. You don't need to go crazy. Just creating, some wood color here. There. So now we just need to do bot. Let's make sure we're on the correct. We are not. So we're going to take that off. We're going to go back to color. What we're going to do with the bot is create little shine lines. Since he's metal, and then he actually has a red thing there, so that's pretty good. I like it. And see again how even though this is digital, they look digitally stand out from the rest because of the brushes I use, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to stay consistent with that. So now we can go in on the original layer, take our brush or eraser, and get rid some of these outer edges. Just clean it up. I've had a cough just now. Haven't had it all day, but then again, I biked today. Been, like I said, trying to be healthier, and I don't want to erase the bubble part of that. I think whenever I breathe in dry environments, I start coughing, which is super annoying. Just cleaning up, and then we'll take this. Okay, so none of that is from there. Must be this one. Yep. If you have questions or anything, just let me know. I get focused in, and then I stop talking eventually, because I'm just like in a zone, and you're not interrupting to ask a question. So if you're curious about something, just let me know. I'd be happy to chat with you, talk with you, either about my other books or what I'm doing or this book. Anything, really. What's so funny? Why are you saying LOL? Did I say something funny? I think that looks good. I am really happy with that. Moving on. Yeah, I get in the zone. Sometimes I lose track of time too. I'll be working on a page and I just want to get that page done. I'm like, especially over Christmas break, I was like, oh, it's been, I was hoping to do 1 hour and they did 3. Like, where did the time go? But it's just fun. Like, the iPad is just really fun to use. Ooh, this one's getting intense. Reminds me of kind of a song you'd hear on, or that I feel like would be in Cloud Red. Cloud Red's a really intense story. Very cyberpunky. Speaking of time, our time's almost up. I just saw the clock. I was like, oh, lost track of time again. But this has been a lot of fun. You can catch me most Sundays at 2. Sometimes, there's a conflict or I'm on vacation or whatever it may be. I guess that's a conflict. But I try and be consistent throughout normal weeks and stream every Sunday. You can follow my other things for time-lapse things, my socials, links in the description of the video, or you can just find me at matchstickcomics.com and find all the stuff there. I am having a lot of fun. I almost don't want to stop. I just realized I drew this arm like a arm that doesn't have a shirt on it. Whoops. Let's try again. After this hand, I'll be done. Man, what is even going on here? It got a little messy in there. Alright, let's think about this. Let's say he's putting that finger out, and then let's say he's cracking this thumb. So he'd have his hand there, like that. There we go. And zoom out, see wherever we've come, how far we've come. Look at that. I know usually I do a whole page, but you can see it takes a bit longer when you do the graphic thing. So let's see how much pencil we use. 10%. And how much battery are we at? 100%. Oh, it's plugged in. Never mind. Okay. Well, it's been great having you. Thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your day and a great week. And I look forward to seeing you again this coming Sunday at 2 o'clock.